All the lighting is now installed. As you can see, I have put it onto pulse on the wings. I cannot set the strobe to flashing or constant because I'm filming from my phone and the controls are on my phone. Cockpit is in and Gradus is on. This is where it was a bit of a headache getting the wires in. So some of these wires were slightly short, so they will be lengthened in the final lighting kit to make it longer and easier, because this sits out, as you can see in the picture I'll put on now, and then slides in, and it has to sit flush. This section has to sit flush for the nose to fit on. The landing lights are in and on. They are red at the moment. I'm not sure if you can see it. It will be more visible in a darker environment, but they are there in the front as well. As you can see, it's shining, so it might look better in white, and they can be turned off independently, including your DDC, like I said, and your cockpit lighting. I'm going to try and see if it's possible to actually add a light to the pilot's helmet. This is a Diamond Select pilot, so it is to scale, 1:10 scale. All the wires are still sticking out the back over here, as you can see. It's a bit of a mess because I'm hoping that I can get extensions for them, and then I can basically do it easier. Here's the cover and the little charging port over there. I could not use the mount on the back because the wires are too short, so that's basically stuck on the inside. So once I can lengthen the wires, then I can actually do everything on the outside, then shove everything into the hole, including the top pot being removed. Okay, so feed your wires through the inside. So there is a couple of things you need to take care of with the wires, and that is that they don't pull out. So handle them on the tips. Don't pull on the actual wire themselves. Use the pliers to actually pull them out on the connector, not on the wire. And then you're going to have from the front, I think it's 5 wires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wires coming from the front to the rear, and then 2 from the rear to the front. Okay, so those 2 are basically for the DDC, and then the 5 are for your side panels, left and right, and then your left and right to the main panel. And then I've split the top one, which is 3, into 2 over here, and then 1 for the lower panel over here. Okay, so there should be additional lights to light up the sides. So 2 for the sides, 1 for the bottom, 1 for the top. 4. Okay, another thing to take care of as well is when you actually do your cockpit module. I had an issue because I had some parts break off the side, these side parts. They're the mounts where the FDM part actually goes into the printed part over here. So these little pieces broke off. Oops. Okay, so and that is because the FDM base plate, when you actually glue your cockpit base onto it, changes the shape slightly. So there's a bit of an issue over there. So I'm going to try and see if I can lengthen the FDM part, the gap where it clips in, and then I'll put that on the box folder to download and print yourselves. Yeah, I think that's basically it on the lighting. So there you go, and I've got my engine set to blue, but you can use a dial and you can change the colors. Okay. So if there's any questions on the lighting, just send me a message and I'll answer what I can. So as you can see, the pilot fits in very well. I had to modify the pilot. That's the one last thing. I had to cut the legs, the gap where his legs fold. There's a picture I'll put on now to show you where. So you can actually fold 90 degrees, else his body's too much forward. And then I pulled his hand off and put it in boiling water, and I used a 5mm pipe, and I just bent his fingers so it could actually be upright when he's holding the joystick. Else it will not work. His hand will not go around. And I cut off his waist belt because it wouldn't have, it's in the way. And what I did as well is I removed the rear seat canisters for the ejection canisters. Like they broke when I removed them because they seem to have been in the way when the gap was too much between the seat and the rear end. So I'll try and redesign this, and I'll also put it on a box folder to reprint and make it actually work so that it can be in there. If you want to, it's not necessarily seen unless you look right from the top. As you can see, there's nothing in there at the moment. Okay, so that's it on the lighting video. So the next will be when it's complete, the kit, which it basically is, but it's in a few weeks from now as I'm going away. Hi everyone, welcome back. I actually finished this model sooner than what I thought, so it's not actually a few weeks, it's like a few days later. So I've completed the kit. What I need to do to make me happy, I need to get the updated decals because the color was wrong, so I'll wipe these off and replace them. So I'm not doing any withering at the moment, that'll be at the end. But as you can see, the kit's complete. I've glued the canopy windows in, and as you can see, I actually put a small rim around the edge before I glued it in because it glues in from the outside, so you won't see the glue. And if you do it when it's clear, then you can have an issue with it. Won't look nice, it'll look untidy. Okay, so just to show you guys how this model looks, I got it on a Lazy Susan over here, so and it's in the flashing mode. So the engine, rear end. Okay, and like you guys know, this is a reveal Viper, so we already have reveal of the reverse thrusters. The sides come off, showing the interior, where the weapon ammo is, the top RCSs on both sides. These replacement for these, they come out as explained. You have your little covers that go over the top with the right and left marked on them. And then there is lighting on the lower coming out. I've got the landing gear on. I've got the pilot in, he's nicely secured. I can open it like he's, and all your lighting on the inside. Okay, there is going to be a possible update to the lighting kit with a light in the visor itself, a very small LED, which will be quite nice. And then you obviously have your nose detail. Let me just put this onto its stand. Okay, so it is quite a big model, so it's a bit of an issue to. Let me see how's the best to do this. Let me turn it. Put the camera over here. Oh, it's still not right. It's huge. Okay, and as you can see, I've done the stand. I've got a piece of wood, and I've put slots in. The gap, the space between these is 25 centimeters exactly on the inside. Okay, then you have your removal of your nose cone, which is probably off camera over here, but I will show you guys now. So there's your reveal detail of your of the nose. Okay, it's very nice. Okay, so I probably will just put update photos on the website, on my Facebook page, regarding when I get to do the withering. But that's a kit for now. So any questions, just shoot me an email, message. The main issues I had with this model was sanding. Okay, so that's the main problem. Everything fits together very well. Okay, so that's it, guys. Thanks and enjoy the build. Cheers.